All right. Whoa. Yeah. Good to know. Okay. We got Chloe Lacasse and Yenny Thompson here. We'll go and get started with Caleb Turner.
Congratulations on the win, guys, and your first goals of the season. Take me through, each of you, what happened on your goals and how you felt afterward.
You scored first.
Okay, I could. I mean, when you have good teammates, Mina just played an amazing ball. I thought she was going for the shot by herself, but she saw me running out there, and that was amazing to put it in the goal.
I mean, it was definitely a special moment. It was Paige saw me, we locked eyes. It's almost like a rom-com. And then, yeah, I took a good touch, and I was able to open up, and it just felt good coming off the laces, and happy it hit the back of the net, and it counted this week.
You guys have gone 6 in a row without losing, 2 wins in a row, 2 wins in your last 4 games. 3 wins in your last 4 games. What's going so well for this team right now?
Yeah, I think everybody knows we had a rough start to the season, but we wanted to turn the page after that July CBA break, and I think we've done that so far. We've been fortunate that a lot of people have come back, and we're picking up steam. People are competing for spots, and it shows that this group is competitive, and we do want to turn a page, and we want to show our fans that we have a fantastic squad, and yeah, we're a force to be reckoned with, and people need to know that now.
Any thoughts on that, Yanni?
I think you optimized that very well.
Thank you, Yanni.
Congratulations to the both of you. I guess I have to go to Yanni first because she scored first. Yanni, you've almost made that shot. I don't know how many times that season. By nature of your position, that is where it's going to come from. But were you just expecting? Were you beyond expecting that one of those would finally hit the back of the net because you've been so close so many times from that spot?
I mean, yeah, I have been trying so much to score my first goal, so just see that ball go behind the net was, that was an amazing feeling, and that was so big for me.
And Chloe, this week you said that you were a little surprised at how much it took for you to kind of get back into the rhythm, and that was a bit of a surprise. Do you feel like that's over now? You're back, you're in full form after that laser of a shot?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was tough being out for so many months. If it was up to me, I would have been back right from the get-go, right? And I thought that's how it would come, that it would just be like an instant click. But the reality of it, when you have a serious injury, it doesn't always work out that way. It rarely does. But yeah, it's been a climb for me, and I'm happy that it's going in a positive direction, and it seems like things are starting to come back. And yeah, I'm hoping going forward it just keeps going on that upward trend as well.
And I do have to ask on that goal, Saunas was closing in. You barely had an angle. How did you get that off? And were you looking upper 90 far post?
Of course. Where else would I look?
You should just see her in training.
Yeah, thank you, Yanni.
Tell us more.
But no, it came off the foot really well, and I mean that was the angle that was given, and yeah, it was a nice goal, I won't lie, and I'm happy it hit the back of the net, and I'm happy it counted this week because coming back from an injury, it definitely feels good to kind of break the ice and get things going moving forward again.
And she's not here to speak to it. Can you speak to either one of you or both to Mina's goal tonight? On Hispanic Heritage Night, she does the sombrero and then blasts it with the left. What does Mina mean to this squad?
Yeah, this is something Mina does at training all the time. The amount of times she megs everybody, the amount of times she does little cheeky chips. So yeah, we weren't surprised to see it go in the back of the net because she does that on a daily basis at training, but it was incredible for Mina, and we're so happy that she was able to put that at the back of the net because she deserves it, and yeah, she means a lot to this group. She's a special player.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Yenny.
Thanks, guys.
We'll have
Thank
Jimmy in
you.
shortly. All right, we got Jimmy, and Caleb's got the mic. Go ahead and fire away, Caleb.
Kind of similar to last week. Amazing first half, probably the best half this team has played. And then you allowed 2 goals in the second half. What were your thoughts on just the differences maybe between the 2 halves?
I think you phrased it the right way. You allowed 2 goals. You kind of give it away. Long goalkeeper. We said everything was so predictable. You know they're going to go long. They're going to target Flynn. They're going to get a flick on. So I think in a way you're disappointed that you didn't cover that part better of the game, because obviously I think the goal just is what we said it would be, one-on-one. I think that's just really frustrating in a way. I think those are the small margins we can still take when it comes to just game management, seeing a game out. You're 3-0 up at halftime. Should never be allowed to score another 2 goals. Should never be allowed to make it this tight at the end. But again, I think I also said it out on the pitch, if you can combine the first half of this week with the first half of last week, where last week we were very good in possession, found players around the box but weren't relentless. We added that relentless piece today. I think anything around the box, we got our shots on goal. I'm not sure if they would be of a high value when it comes to the position they were taken from, but you get your shot on goal, you get people crushing the box, and I think those are just things that we've been wishing and really been working on, so I'm very happy about the first half, obviously.
You mentioned the goals that they were all 3 were pretty spectacular in their own way. Mina's the flick, and then the first goals of the season for the other 2 players. I guess what does it mean just to get those goals from those players tonight?
Yeah, no, I think we see within the league we see a lot of teams suffering. What I mean by that is if you rely a lot on one player, the qualities of a player, and that player is not available, that's when you get in trouble in a way. And I think what we want to be is versatile. We want to have loads of way of attacking. So I think I'm not unhappy about goals being divided over a front line. I think that's what we want to be. We said it outside. We've been saying it for 3 to 4 weeks. It's contributions over credit. So we don't want to go to one player. We don't want to find just one player. We want to have loads of options. It's a right fullback scoring a goal. It's a number 10 scoring a goal. I think that already is really amazing. So I think all of that all together is really what we want to do and who we want to be, to be honest. So I think, like I said, loads to be happy about. Chloe Lacasse coming back, scoring her goal, going down the wing. I think that's what we wanted to see as well. And I think the way we build her minutes up, like we said, I think she was a bit frustrated not being able to play against the Portland, but just being able to explain her why and then seeing how she shows up in these kind of games. She got 15 minutes more than last week. So can we add some more? Can we do some more? I think that's the work we've been doing behind the scenes, and proud of how this team showed up in the second half of the season.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the win, Coach. I almost hate to ask these questions, but did you get anything from the 4th official on that yellow for Mandy? Because we were scratching our heads. What was that all about?
I think it's just been a very frustrating game when it comes to just what happened on the pitch. I think Flint doesn't get a yellow. I think someone else walks away with the yellow. Should have been Flint, who makes another 3 to 4 fouls after that. So I think when you get that yellow, you're cautious about what happens. But we got away with it as well. Mina got a yellow instead of Nuria, and Nuria gets a yellow at the end of the game, so it could have been maybe 2 yellows. So I think it was not great, but for both sides. So I think that's what I'm happy about. She got a yellow for kicking the ball away after the whistle already. I think she was just suffering and trying to compensate things that she was doing on one side and bringing it back to the other side. I think she was leaning too much into the rhythm of the game and trying to, I wouldn't say help Louisville, but it just was kind of strange in some moments of the game that some calls were going one way, and I think that's the emotion of the game, and she got a bit too high on the emotions of the game, in my opinion.
And you just spoke to Caleb's question that there were things that this squad, the Utah Royals, could control in the second half, and there were things that weren't accomplished. But the amount of whistle blows, how much did that impact, as you mentioned, the rhythm and what you were trying to accomplish in that second half?
No, I think we're a team that wants to be compact. We're a team that wants to, again, both in and off possession, be together. And I think there is a kick, there is a free kick. It happens fast, and I think that kind of offsets us in our shape. So should we have pressed that high in the second half? Maybe not. Just see it out. Just sit a bit more down and let them have the falls, but also be organized for them to have the falls. And I think right now we were always in between. I think we went long. We found 3 players pressing forward. We got 2 center backs staying behind and 2 midfielders trying to cover 30 yards. I think that was kind of the image of the second half. So, just in general, I think definitely that second half could have been better. But just think we have to be honest as well and look at ourselves 3-4 months ago in comparison to where we are right now. We lose a game in Louisville 2-3. We win it at home. And I think we were also the better team. So at the end of the day, I think did they had great opportunities? I don't think so. I think Yannick could have maybe scored a second one in the very end of the game. Got also a shot again. So I think, just in general, I think it's not the most prettiest way to win a game, but not unhappy winning a game.
Last question for me. Chloe, we've talked about her several times since she's been back, but first goal after her horrific injury. Just remind the fans how hard she's worked to get to this point and just how special that goal really was.
Yeah, I would recommend everyone to look at Chloe's social media. She kept a journal of her journey coming back to the pitch. I think those journeys don't go in a straight line, they go up and down. I think she was very stable throughout it all. I think Chloe's definitely not the big speaker. She's not going to speak to her group, she's not going to open up. But I think the thing she did well is really rely on a support system, both in and around the club. So I think it made everyone very, very happy to see her score a goal. Could have scored a goal maybe last week if it was 1 second early delivery from Mina. But I just think in general, like, ever since she's back, she's playing not only well, but she's also at practice. You see different things from other players that have to defend against a player like Chloe, which helps us as well on the training pitch. So I think those ends are really, really important to us. And obviously, you have Chloe like us, everyone knows the song, she's going down the wing. You know it's going to happen, but it's still so unpredictable. And I think that's what we enjoy from tonight as well. Having offensive options with Chloe going deep, being able to cut inside. Mina, who's, in my opinion, one of the most unpredictable players in this league. You got a Paige that you know what she's going to give you, and she's going to give it as long as she can. I think that's really been interesting to us. Aisha has been pressing, has been making it very comfortable for center backs to recover balls, play forward again. So I think this collective is really impressive right now, and it's obviously the momentum we want to keep going.
Preguntar en español. Jimmy, cuando una hora antes del partido vi la hoja de la alineación del equipo, digo, este es el equipo perfecto de Royals. Digo, estoy seguro que con este equipo hubieras llegado a metas muy altas en la liga.
Jimmy, an hour before the game, I saw the starting lineup in the paper, and I believe this is the best lineup we have. What do you feel like in this part of the season, would the team be? Would it be a higher position or better opportunities?
Yeah, well, what did we concede? 6 goals in 7 games, I think it is now. And I think 2 very unfortunate games today. And if you could have had the same first half of the season and only concede 7 or 8 in the first X many games, I think you're around the playoff line right now. I still think we need to score more goals. I think that's still our biggest deficit right now, and still something we have to work on. But yeah, I think what we're seeing as a collective, as a team, it's not a team of individuals. It's really a team that comes together and try to win the game together. And I think that's what we're really good at, and we find our way. I think it was Befianez, Louisville's coach, that said it as well against their players. Like, and the second you think he's not going to play up from the back, he'll find a way to play up from the back. And that's what this team is really like. We found Mina, I think the first 15 minutes of that second half was actually every time we played out from the back, we found a free player. And it's the next phase then. What do we do with that new with that free player? But it was really, really, in my opinion, really courageous to see that we kept on playing out from the back and finding players face forward. So I think those are small things that we can add. How do we use that free player? How do we move forward? How do we even score more goals in evenings like this?
La pena es que el balance, digamos, del equipo es, digamos, ahora perfecto. Por eso digo que la alineación gusta, el balance de ataque, defensa, etcétera, ¿no? Lo bueno, digamos, es que ya tienes el equipo para el año que viene. Lo malo es que quizás faltaron 4 partidos para esta temporada, que igual con este equipo, y siendo el mejor equipo de la segunda parte de la liga, podía haber aspirado al título, ¿no? Incluso.
He said that now.
Go on.
Yeah, now, he said now the team's balanced with offense and defense. With this squad, if we had 4 more games, we probably would put in a playoff spot. But now you have a squad for next season and push for the playoff or even a title for next year.
Yeah, I think we have an identity for next season. I think that's the most important part. I think squads change and people and personnel change, but the identity of the club shouldn't change. What I mean by that is we're front-footed, we're pressing, but on the other side, we're also playing out from the back and luring and inviting pressure. And I think that identity piece, that DNA piece, should be here for the next 6, 7, 8 years, not depending on coaches, not depending on players, not depending on anyone in the building. But I think that's what we want to give back to the fans. Beginning of the season, we went against an Angel City. Let's sit low. Let's take away space for Alyssa Thompson. Let's take away space for Giselle Thompson. And right now, we just get on the pitch and we just say, let's get in their face. And we'll see how we sort it out. And we'll see what it gives us. But I think the most important part for us is really that philosophy and DNA and being consistent. The last 7 to 8 games, we've been pressing really high on every single ball, each and every time. We've built up from the back, but also went long in some occasions. And I think once you find success in all of that, I think it's now the club's job to be looking at, okay, what are the adjustments that will take us from 13 to 12 to 10 to 8 to 7 in terms of players. So what I'm saying just basically is players, coaches, everyone changes at a club over the next 5 years. Maybe even this building will be completely different. But what we want to do right now as a staff and as a team is set the foundation for what this club is going to look like for the next 10 years. And there is this one quote that says like hitting rock bottom is actually not bad, and it's not bad because it's sturdy, and you can actually start building something really good on it. I think that's what we worked on with ownership, with front office, and I cannot tell you how hard it is because I want to win every single game I can, but it's also looking beyond that, and it's looking at how do we want to win games, and do we want to open up all the way against Angel City, be vulnerable? We might win, we might lose, but we're showing who we want to be, and we're creating that identity piece, and I think that's really what we're going to do the remainder of the season.
Me gustaría que hablaras de Alicia, del trabajo de ella, porque no está metiendo goles, pero está haciendo un trabajo para el equipo extraordinario, ¿no? De defensa, de presión sobre el contrario. Me gustaría que valoraras eso. ¿Cómo lo valoras?
Yeah, I think Aisha found a way of contributing to the team. And like you said, it's not scoring goals, but she's finding herself defensively very, very useful. And maybe you don't take a 3-0 for granted, you just keep her on because you're actually doing the same job. Will goals follow? Everyone within the staff hopes she scores a goal very soon. She's been scoring goals at practice. But if you just look at the picture of Aisha in the beginning of the season, if you would kick a ball towards her, it was really hard to keep it under pressure. Right now, she's keeping it. She's offering us a way out of the press of the opponent. I think normally we would go with Amina running deep or Amina coming into the ball, Aisha running deep. Now we actually have Aisha coming into the ball. We have Mina going or the other way around. And it's that versatile, having just versatility across offense that really makes us successful. We have Paige checking in, Aisha going, we have Yanni making the run. And that's what we want to do, really creating, I think it was Sam that said it yesterday, that we want to be statistically unpredictable. Like that's a great asset to have. And we're building on how do we do this and how do we create that environment where everyone actually understands what we're doing and what we have to be doing. But we're also giving it back to the players. And we make them recognize situations, and I think that's really what we're doing now.
La última cuestión, el balance entre Ana y Claudia. Me alegra que hayas vuelto a apostar por eso otra vez, porque has estado algunos partidos dudando si ponerla o no, ni siquiera la tenías a Ana en el relevo y ahora estás jugando de titular y esa combinación para mí es perfecta, ¿no?
They speak both Spanish, don't they? That makes it easy, right? They communicate in the same language, but I don't really very often give a lot of appraisal, but a 34, 35-year-old that's running like Claudia is doing, you won't find him very often. So right now, I think, yes, Tejada is definitely doing a good job, but I think anyone that you put next to this Claudia Zanosa will play a very good game. I think she's really been balanced. She's really helping us out. I think the biggest conversation she had, and I would allow her to walk in and ask her what I tell her, and the only thing I tell her is just run every single time. And if you can find balance between offensive, defensive run, we're going to get you more on the ball. And that's what we've been doing, and I think all credits to Claudia Zanosa for what she's doing. How long, like she's seeing games out 90 minutes. Our performance coach said that she's actually producing the highest output she's ever did in her career. She's never performed this high when it comes to total distance, sprint distance, high speed running. She's 34, 35-year-old, which is amazing. I think that's just also how she is a captain to this team in her own way. She's showing people the way. And if you have that left foot like she has, she's also serving people. So again, like it's this collective piece. It's not just Tejada, Claudia. It's this willingness to just perform. And I think that's really been the thing that we did coming out of the July break is, look, here's what we have. Here are the qualities. Quoting Rob Gale, who said in the beginning of the season at the Pro License, like, there's one thing you can teach any player, and that's to run. And that's what we've been doing. I think we've been successful at it, so we're going to keep on doing it.
Gracias y felicidades.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
All good? Thank you.